Hello, Internet. My name is Catherine S3E16, and you are watching Munchies and Minis, my weekly tabletop role-playing game show where I make, well, it's a weekly cooking show based off of tabletop role-playing games. Yeah, my brain's kind of not there, because, yeah, it's Wednesday, and that's because my brain is never here on Wednesdays. Anyway, today we are actually not doing a role-playing game based recipe precisely so much as a recipe based off a web series based off a role-playing game. I know, it can be a little confusing, but just look up Journey Quest and the internet shall tell you all you shall need to know. Just don't look up the word meathenge. Yet. Anywho, the series Journey Quest takes place in the world of Fartherall, which is the overarching universe for the Gamers web series done by Zombie Orpheus and Dead Gentleman Productions. If you've ever heard of the movie Gamers 2 Darkness Rising, yes, we are talking about that particular world, and a lot of the same actors you might recognize from said movie. Journey Quest kind of takes a little further. Rather than having the Earth world, like our prime world, playing characters in the world of Fartherall, it's just in the point of view of the characters themselves, and one of those dungeon crawling quests that goes completely wrong, where the chosen one happens to be the wizard who always screws up. Anyway, I know I'm just kind of doing a lot of anyways and all that, but let's move on. Today's recipe is not actually a human recipe, elvish recipe. It is an orcish recipe that I completely made up. Thing is, sorry, I need a drink. Drink first, explanation later. So I've got a big thing of ice, a little bit of lemonade, pour some amaretto. I have a ton of amaretto left over from when I did that Regency era punch, which is on the video highlights of my Twitch currently, and admittedly it'll be a few weeks until it actually shows up on YouTube. That's how I do things, yo. And some peach tea with lemon. And hopefully that should calm my nerves a little bit, because since I am a huge fan of Journey Quest and Zombie Orpheus Productions, I kind of told them I was streaming this tonight, and I know that they probably shared it. So I'm just going, oh yeah, no pressure. I'm not used to having more than one viewer on here, so until I actually get some more viewers in here, I'm going to have myself a drink of this peach tea and amaretto. Right. And get this fan on me, because our AC went out this week. Yay! Anyway, so one of the big running gags in the Gamers universe, in the Fartherall universe, is waffles. We see it in Gamers 2, Darkness Rising, when all the players are basically going waffles after said game. There is a recollection of this particular joke in the Journey Quest series when the orcs call out for wafflin, or that is, food. It's the orcish word for food. So, I thought I would make some orcish waffles with the idea that the whole concept of it being called food is that it's the word for their travel bread. So I'm making waffle travel bread that, in the lore, I picture that it would probably, every once in a while, get dried after cooking a little bit, so you would soak it in some maple syrup to rehydrate it, reconstitute it before taking a bite. And, when it happens to dry out a little bit, that's a little easier to travel with. And that's the idea I have. So we're going to be making maple syrup-based waffles with some rosemary, ham, and pine nuts. Get your meat and your starch in there for a little bit of protein and nutrients and whatever. And yeah, we're gonna do that. I might make something with maple syrup as far as drink-a-halls. But that's when I had a little bit more of this drink-a-hall. Anyway, what you will need is about a cup and 3/8 of a cup of, what's it called, all-purpose flour. You're gonna need a flour sifter, which is in here. Some measuring spoons, which I totally forgot to get earlier. Kosher salt. And what we're gonna do with this is that we are going to add about, where the heck did I put the cornstarch? Did I actually remember to buy cornstarch? I did not remember to buy cornstarch. However, if you do not have cornstarch, like I do not, you can also use arrowroot powder. Why am I using arrowroot instead of cornstarch? Because I don't use it enough, apparently. Hopefully I've got about 3 tablespoons in there. I think I do. So, you're going to be adding about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch or ground arrowroot. And just to let you know, if you use arrowroot as opposed to cornstarch, your waffles will be a little bit moister, a little bit lighter, and might take a little bit longer to cook than if you were using cornstarch. That's fine though. This should work pretty well for the recipe. And you'll want to add about 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. That's a 1/4 teaspoon. Where's my 1/2 teaspoon? I don't feel like doing extra math. Derp-a-derp-a-der. Derp-a-der. Okay. It was such a clean kitchen beforehand. All right. So, 2.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Wait. No, 5 is correct. Okay. So, what you're gonna want to do, oh right, and kosher salt. You will want how much? Oh right, a pinch, because I am not precise on that. There we go. Pinch of kosher salt. So, now, I gotta sift this whole mess. First, I'm just gonna stir that up, load it up, and since my flour sifter is kind of broken, I still need to replace it. I'm just gonna have to do this to sift it. Try to get it as light and as free of lumps as I possibly can. All right, and get back here. Stay. All right, there we go. Yeah, I know. I need to get a real flour sifter, one that's not from my husband's late grandparents and has broken. Still does the job. There we go. Do you have to tap it on the side twice? No, I just like doing that because the rhythm sounds interesting to me. Good evening, Boozy Brit. Welcome to the Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis, my weekly role-playing game themed cooking show. This particular episode, I am making waffles with ham, pine nuts, and rosemary, inspired by the web series Journey Quest. By my good friends over at Zombie Orpheus and Dead Gentleman Productions. Well, I am so looking forward to seeing Gen Con this year. I am so excited. I haven't seen my friends in over a year. I'm so happy. Right. By the way, if you are going to Gen Con, Zombie Orpheus will be having 3 shows of their Gamers Live shows. One on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. plenty of tickets left over, so if you're going to Gen Con, by all means, go to their shows. It is absolutely worth it. They are almost completely improvised with the characters that you might recognize from the Gamers series. And the great thing, too, is the audience participation is just off the chain. You get to pick out what characters the actors are going to be playing, well, role-playing, because why not? I mean, I remember one point we had, I think it was someone playing an edgelord, someone playing a Sylphant, which is centaur, but half elephant rather than horse, which was especially hilarious when said Sylphant let out a massive fart to destroy a whole wave of enemies. It's good times. Not unless Gen Con is in London. Oh, well, make plans for maybe next year, because it's a very fun convention. It's one of my favorites. I get to try out so many different tabletop role-playing games there and meet so many friends. And yes, there is an international following that goes to Gen Con every year. This year, you can imagine it's a little crazy with, the plague. But should still be a lot of fun, even though it's kind of been scaled back a bit. And doing that as well as Dragon Con 2 weeks prior, which is here in Atlanta, which I've been going to since 2004. So, but no, last time I was out in London, it was for my honeymoon back in 2014. Wait, no, I went the following year because we had our wedding in November, and my husband wanted us to go when Opera Holland Park was currently in season, which only runs during the summer. He had worked about three seasons there as a set builder, props manager, theater technician. And so, yeah, we got to go see Aida over at Opera Holland Park, and it was gorgeous. A little crazy because it was they had it taking place in essentially the British Museum instead of Egypt. They just had it taking place in the Egyptian exhibit in the British Museum. And it was kind of a war between the rich donors and all the service people, which I think is really telling. What do I think of London? I love it. I actually lived in England from 89 to 92, back when my father was in the Army and he was working as an exchange officer with the Royal Air Force. And I will say it was kind of funny for me going back, because the last time I was there, I was about 5 years old. And when I came back, I was in my 20s, and it was like my system was going, I recognize these things in the air. I recognize it. I don't know what it is, but it must be trying to kill her. So I had to take 3 allergy pills a day. My allergies were that bad. But it was kind of funny going on the tube stations again. Oh, because I'm so used to Atlanta, where it takes 20 minutes between trains. And I'm in London, and there are people just bolting for the trains. There's going to be another one in 2 minutes. Why are you running? I mean, the buses arrive every 5 minutes. The trains arrive every 2 minutes. Why are you running? So that was my attitude on that. But we spent a week in London, stayed in the Notting Hill area in an Airbnb, and then took the train up to Edinburgh, and drove from Edinburgh all the way up across Inverness and then back down to Glasgow before flying back. Boozy Brit says British Museum / Egypt. What's the difference? Us British basically stole 90% of their heritage. We probably have taken the pyramids if they weren't stapled down. That sounds very British of you. Yes, I believe that. But yeah, oh no, it's crazy. Like this production of Aida, the Egyptians were played by essentially, it was supposed to be kind of the premise of there's like this big corporate or patron sort of ball in the British Museum, and all these rich folks get super drunk and super hyped up on drugs. Like, I'm not kidding, they're snorting substances off the butts of the female chorus. And they basically go nuts and start taking the service folks hostage. So it was interesting. I thought it was hilarious and kind of scary, a little bit telling as to how, the wealth disparity and how the rich view the poor and all that. So, but it was funny because when we met with some of his old friends at Opera Holland Park, they're like, "Oh, have you read the reviews?" "No, we haven't." "Oh, just as well." And we're just going, "What does that mean?" So, anyway, waffles. Doopa-doopa-doopa-doo. I got the stuff sifted, so we've got a cup and 3/8 of a cup of all-purpose flour sifted with 3 tablespoons of, in this case it's arrowroot powder, but you could also use cornstarch, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and now we start adding the fun stuff to our batter, which would be about a 1/2 cup of rosemary, though I'm just gonna kind of strip those leaves and see how much I get out of that. A 1/4 cup of things and stuff. 1/4 cup of pine nuts, which I think that I've got exactly that much, because pine nuts are expensive, yo. Otherwise I would have doubled them up because I freaking love them. This rosemary is freshly British accent, 10 out of 10. Oh god. It's been a hot minute. I mean, the last time I kind of had to do a Brit accent was for this game over on Slady's Atlanta's channel. Slady's Atlanta is a role-playing channel located here in town, and they often do charity events. And I want to say 2 Fridays ago, we were playing Good Society, which is a game based off of Regency era England, like kind of Jane Austen novels and whatnot. And I was playing 2 different widows for that. One kind of a young widow. She was supposed to be kind of the, I guess, Elizabeth Bennet type character and all that. And I was then playing kind of I want to say it was like a mix of Lady Dandridge from Bridgerton and Lady Catherine de Bourgh from Pride and Prejudice. So I just, same outfit, but just glasses down on my nose while holding a stuffed cat going, yes. Sounding a little bit like a horse and all that. It was a great time. Alright, I should chop all of that up. So, quick knife lesson on how to not chop your fingers off. So, how to properly hold a chef's knife. First, you take the dominant index finger of your dominant hand, put it here, up against the blade, put your thumb on the other side, and then comfortably wrap your fingers around. And then, rocking motions. If you're going to do this whole bit, make sure that your hand is firmly on top, make sure you are pinching that blade, because this is what happens when you don't pinch that blade. If you do this, I can just do that, there it goes. But if I'm pinching it, and you don't even have to put all that much force into your grip, it's not going anywhere. There you go. So, chopping up the rosemary, because it grows like a weed in my front yard. This is also so it kind of distributes a little more evenly throughout the waffle. And so you don't have any stalky bits kind of poking you in the gums as you're eating. There we go. That's looking pretty good. So just gonna shove that into my measuring cup and move things around because the sun is setting where I'm at right now. Not into the dough yet. Not yet. Okay, it looks like I definitely need more rosemary. Good thing I picked so much. It's like, you see I don't trust myself with kids' cutlery, let alone a chef's knife. Well, that's why you learn. Can't just survive on takeaway all day now, can ya? Well, I mean, you can, but it's hella expensive. Besides, I actually find cutting vegetables therapeutic, oddly enough. Just, it's kind of like if you're painting, but you're painting with a blade. Your canvas is food, which I know sounds esoteric and silly, but it's kind of that feeling. And got that music playing. I mean, I've been known to dance around the kitchen if I'm drunk enough, or not. But since I have to play music on here that is YouTube safe, so I don't get a million copyright violations, we're just gonna have this kind of ambient epic music instead of whatever the hell I usually dance to. So, yes, delicious, delicious boozahol. All right, more chopping. I will admit, a lot of it, I just like the scent of fresh rosemary when it's been chopped up like this. So freaking good. And actually, I'm not only making this today, I'm going to be putting together some dough for some English muffins that are going to be going on the blog in a couple of weeks. I'm basing that recipe off of the game, the Spectrum Retreat, where the gameplay is actually very similar to Portal, except that you're kind of using a color device and doing color puzzles rather than physics puzzles. Okay, Boozy Brit says, my current Drop Fleet character is banned from using any sharp objects under the order of the Imperium after the last, shall we say, incident. But the safest knives are sharp knives. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna need more. Did I actually say? No, I said quarter cup of rosemary. I was thinking the ham. I was needing a quarter cup of ham. All right, well, if that's the case, oh look, that's perfect. There we go. Chopped rosemary. We have plenty, which is good, considering the rest of that rosemary is going to be going into my English muffins. But as I was saying, it's kind of a Portal-style game where you wake up in, well, in this particular case, you're waking up in kind of an Art Deco-style hotel with these weird animatronics that happen to be the staff members, which is creepy as all get out, but you learn that you might actually be in a simulation. However, there is one food item in this game. It's your breakfast that you have every single day. It is, in fact, smoked salmon Benedict, which is delightful. But thing is, do you really need a recipe to just make smoked salmon Benedict? You can just look up how to poach eggs, how to make hollandaise sauce, how to slice an English muffin. Why are you looking up a tutorial on that? So, I'm actually making some homemade English muffins using rosemary and sage. Rosemary, for remembrance, and sage, which is going to be kind of representing another theme in the game, which is dealing with grief. So I figured, have some homemade herbal, what's it called? English muffins to give my own little touch on it. But if you're as lazy as I am sometimes, I will not, persecute you for using regular English muffins. However, my version does have a stupid easy way of making hollandaise sauce, which only involves measuring cups and a stick blender and a microwave. So, let's see. Boozy Brit says, when I use rosemary while cooking, I think I normally add too much. The taste is a bit overwhelming. Yeah, I will admit, I'm one of those people who just can't get enough of it. So, use to your own preference. Anywho, dough. Waffle dough. This is why something that would normally take about a half an hour to do takes, in fact, 2 hours because I start chatting. Which, hey, that's the point of streaming, right? So, just gotta measure out our pine nuts. Okay, 1/4 cup. Got that. And tell you what, I'm gonna snack on the rest of them because I can. I've got the house to myself tonight. The husband's just went out for his D&D game, so I'm gonna snack on these pine nuts that I spent a lot of money on. Those are delicious. Yes. So, got our pine nuts, got our rosemary. I need to do one more thing to that part of the batter, and that is add my ham. Why ham? Because ham. So what I might actually do is, I was just gonna say, put it in, dice it up and put it in as it is. However, I usually like ham that has been fried up a little bit to add a little bit of that browning caramelization from the Maillard reaction. So we are going to dice it up and then fry it up. We're gonna need about a 1/2 cup. So I just got these ham steaks because they were super, super inexpensive, as opposed to the other hams that were like about $5 to $6 a pound. So, big thing with dicing. First, you cut planks. This is considered a plank already. Then, you cut batons. So, actually we're gonna go that way. And we're gonna go for about, I wanna say about a 1/4 cup, or, yeah, let's go for about a 1/4 inch. So then you just kind of eyeball that, cutting your batons. Probably should have gone for the 1/2 inch, but whatever. I do what I want. And the main goal is to get a good distribution and have everything cook up in the same amount of time. That's what a lot of the purpose behind dicing is, especially having good knife skills and a proper dice, is that you won't have any pieces that are undercooked. So now that we have our batons, then you just slice crosswise to dice. So there we go. This is roughly about a 1/4 inch. Probably a little closer to a 1/2 inch, but as long as everything is roughly about the same size, we're good. All right. Get over there. Probably okay with only using one of these ham steaks. Probably is going to be more than enough. But it's good because then my husband will have something to eat when he gets home from work tomorrow. All right. There we go. All right, this is going to be a bit more than a 1/2 cup. But that's fine, because ham is tasty, and it's also going to shrink up a little bit as it cooks out some of that excess moisture, so get over there. I suppose I can add an extra step frying it up. Yeah, we're going to have a bit more. It's going to be delicious, though. We're just going to shove all of that onto the board rather than try to caution walk a overfull measuring cup over to my stove. And also the reason why we're doing this now is so I can have it cool a bit before I add it to our batter. So, because we got other stuff to do, which that reminds me, I need to make my beer milk. And by Beertermilk, I mean buttermilk, but using malt vinegar to acidulate whole milk a little bit. You could also use beer, but I don't think I have any beer ready to go. I might, but I also have malt vinegar, so I'm just going to use the malt vinegar. And then open a beer and then drink the whole beer myself, because beer. So, right, switch to our stove cam, which currently has a waffle iron on it. I'm just going to switch that out for cast iron skillet. Turn on the heat on medium and set a timer for about 3 minutes to preheat our skillet. So since it is hot as hell over here, I'm also putting the fan on, and so I don't have my cats screaming at me for ham, which they're going to do anyway once they start smelling the ham. Right, so another thing we need, like I said, is to put together our milk. So what I'm going to be doing for that is that you actually need 2 other mixing bowls to make this recipe. Yes, we are getting kind of fancy here. Are orcs this fancy? Well, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, you guys watch Journey Quest, right? So, let's go back to our prep. Put this over here, because we need this over here now. All right. And I forgot another thing I need to add to our thing. I'm going to be adding about how much? A tablespoon. Yes, a tablespoon of ground sumac. If you don't know what this is, that's fine. The reason why I'm using ground sumac is that it is also kind of a wild-growing herb, sumac berry. It kind of has a citrusy flavor and kind of like salt and lemon juice. It makes whatever you're cooking taste a little bit more like those flavors. If you don't have access to ground sumac like I do, and that's very likely, you can also use lemon zest and get the same effect. So I'm just going to throw that in there. And I mean, this was only about, how much was this? This was only about $2.08 where I'm at. So if you happen to be a fan of cooking and like to get spices, come to DeKalb Farmers Market in Atlanta, and there's an entire wall of spices. To give you an idea, this is only about 1/3 of my spice arsenal. So, yeah. Just gonna give that a quick whisk. Get that all incorporated. Get back here. There we go. Certainly smells nice. Right. Milk. You are going to conjure some milk into this bowl. If you watched Journey Quest series, that was fucking funny. Okay, where are you? Not here. But first, to fry up some ham, it can wait. Right, so you are going to need 1.5 cups of milk. So, measuring cup. And I am using whole milk for this. 1, 2, and 3. Just in case I need that later. There we go. To that, once I find the edge of the seal for this thing, here we are. You are going to add a tablespoon of malt vinegar or beer. So, get in there, dang it. And you're just gonna give that a quick stir, let it mix, and then set it to the side to let it do its thing. Then, as I let it do its thing, I'm gonna put the milk away because I don't need it anymore. Well, at least I don't need it right now. Yeah. And I'm gonna fry up some ham. Here we are. There we go. And I'm just gonna get that in a single layer. And no, I'm not adding any extra fat to it because, quite frankly, it already has a little bit of fat already on it that's going to render out, crisp up a little bit, and cook the rest of that in there. What was I doing? Yes, let's put the malt vinegar out of sight. Never mind, don't need the pan anymore, so that can go away. Ham, 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 ham. Okay. Was doing? Oh, right, eggs. I need those. Eggs, 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 eggs. And I need to melt some butter. Butter, 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 butter. Butter, 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 butter. Give that a wee bit of a stir. Continue to let it do its thing. And I am only doing this in a measuring cup. I'm going to be using the measuring cup later. So you're going to need about a not a derpadur, but you get the idea. Where are you? I know there was butter on here. Yes, a 1/4 cup of butter melted. So that means I would need, let's see, it's about 4 tablespoons and a 1/4 cup. So there we go. Just gonna cut that into some tablespoons. Boom, boom. And then I'm gonna microwave it in about 10-second increments until it is fully melted and so it doesn't explode in my microwave. Yes. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely cooking some of that excess moisture out of the ham, as you can see. Check on the butter, not melted yet. Put it back in for 10 more seconds. There we go. Get back in there. You too. Okay. And I'm just going to grab a prep bowl for that ham so I can let it cool down some before I add it to my batter. How am I doing? Nope. All right. It is jumping, so that means it is ready to leave the pan. There we go. Get in there. Just gonna set this aside to let it cool some. Find where the heck I put my oven mitts. Here we are. And turn off the fan for now because I don't need the heat up anymore at the moment. Oh, hi Pixelated Becca. Thanks so much for rating. It's good to see everyone with 51. Holy crap, that's 51 people. Hi 51 people. I hope you stuck around. Anyway, today I am making some waffles with ham, pine nuts, and rosemary based off of the Zombie Orpheus and Dead Gentleman Productions web series Journey Quest. If you've never heard of Journey Quest before, get thee to the YouTubes and watch it. You can have it on the background for all I care. It is excellent. It is a hilarious web series. I am making waffles because the Orcish word for food is wafflin. So I was going, okay, where did it get its name? Waffle travel bread. Let's make that. So I've already fried up about, I want to say this is half cup, but I'd be lying. It's definitely more than a half cup of ham. Got about a quarter cup of pine nuts and a quarter cup of chopped rosemary in my dough so far, as well as a tablespoon of ground sumac, but if you can't get ground sumac, I recommend using lemon zest. And I also happen to mix some whole milk with some malt vinegar, and it looks like there's a little bit of rosemary left over in that, but that is okay. So the next bit I am doing, I'm separating some eggs. So you are going to need 3 eggs, which that happens to be what I have right here. And we're going to separate those. You're going to need the whites in one bowl, the yolks in the bowl with the milk, because we're going to be actually whipping these whites into stiff peaks to kind of make sort of a meringue to help that rise a little bit with our waffles. So let's crack that egg. Get a shell all over the place, because that's standard, of course. Get the shell out of there. Out, 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 damn shell, out. Okay. Ooh, come on. There we go. Switch it back. All right. Get back in there. And then when you're confident that there's enough white in there, transfer the yolk directly to the milk bowl. And then search frantically for your trash can as you realize you did not put a bag nearby you, but that is okay. Crack another egg. And separate. Whew. Okay. And back. Yes. It's a very good web series, highly recommend. Oh, especially if you're a D&D nerd like I am. In fact, if you've ever seen the movie Gamers Darkness Rising, if you haven't, it's either going to be on the Fantasy Network or it's going to be on Amazon Prime. It's the same universe as Gamers Darkness Rising, with a lot of the same actors. It's just, in this case, instead of being in the point of view of the gamers, it's in the point of view of the characters. So, quite good. With all sorts of fun jokes. I've done about, 3 recipes based off this series already. Because there is an oracle in the series who you can only ask 3 questions. And so what she does, since she's an oracle and she knows you're coming, she will bake up whatever your favorite food is and offer it to you as soon as you arrive. And basically, since you're asking so many questions about how did she know what your favorite food was and how did she get it exactly right, you will have wasted all 3 of your questions. So that scene, that collection of scenes happened to give me 3 different recipes. First happens to be a pineapple cheesecake tart that happens to be on waffles with a red pepper glaze to it. Let's see, the second one was for raspberry and cream filled scones, and the third one was for flank steak with rosemary and gin. So yeah, this one, I will admit, I totally made up. It's not from any particular scene except for the fact that the orcs call food waffled. So I'm making orcish waffles. I mean, kind of makes sense considering that, you know, if you're cooking over a campfire, it's probably a little easier to use something like, I don't know, a waffle iron. So, yeah, this is totally a retro, at least I think it's retro, waffle iron from my husband's late grandparents. It came with the house. You can use your own waffle iron, and keep in mind that the batter is going to react differently, so kind of go off the guideline of what I'm going to be doing when I fill the hot iron. But you may get more or fewer waffles depending on your iron and how it happens to work. So, drink. Yes. Indeed. So, I've got that. Else needed to go there. All right, my maple syrup. Got some real maple syrup here. That is going to go into that bowl with our, I'm calling it beer milk, from the fact that I'm using malt vinegar instead of lemon juice to acidulate our whole milk. You could also use beer, but I haven't gotten to the part of the program where I open a beer up yet, so I'm still working on my amaretto and peach tea. So we're going to hold back on that for now, because knowing me, I will forget that I have said beer, and it will go flat on me or room temp on me, which, depending on the beer, could be a good or bad thing. So, maple syrup, you're going to need 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. And this is the real stuff. I mean, you could use the kind of maple-flavored corn syrup if you really want to, but, I mean, why not go for the real thing when you can? So, just gonna stir. First, I'm going to take my ham, which has, for the most part, cooled by now. Gonna toss that in there. And take a spatula, because I'm going to be using it in a bit. Just kind of toss that in there to coat it with some flour, which, you know, distributes it nicely, but also keeps it from sinking too much as we are cooking our waffles. All right, that to the side. Next, we whisk. We whisk as if you're being chased by a shark and you're swimming away. So, I'm going to clean it up afterwards, don't worry. All right. Whisk, 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 whisk. Whisked. Okay, now I'm going to put this over here and read my directions again to make sure I'm doing things right. Derp, derp, derp. Derp, derp, derp. Yeah. So next, I'm just gonna take this stuff here and blend it into our dry mix. Flipping as you go. There we go. Just stir it enough so everything is moistened. Like so. There we go. And now we bring out the power tools. So that means I'm getting, not my stick blender, even though it just fell out on me. I get my hand mixer of doom. Doom. Doom, da-doom, doom. Doom, da-doom, doom, doom. And why? Because I live in Georgia, so I don't want to get super sweaty, even though that's going to happen anyway. And did I actually say to... Right. Yes, okay. So now I have to find what I can unplug. That would be that. So you want a whisk attachment and a hand mixer, or a mixer with this whisk attachment, or you can, know how I showed you how to whisk like a shark is chasing you? You would be whisking as if a shark on speed is chasing you. We're not going to do that because I don't endorse certain substances on the show. So, there we go. Whisk attachment. Whee! And try to get the cord out from there so I'm not knocking everything to the floor. And turbo mode! Yes, indeed. And now you just kind of wait as it whips. And I mean, if your arm can move this fast, then I commend you, but mine does not. So, there we go. We are whipping this mess into stiff peaks, or have you ever seen a meringue on a lemon meringue pie? That's kind of what it looks like. So, I'm just going to kind of stop that there. That is not standing up at all, is it? No, it's not. So indeed, we shall continue to whip. Yes, we shall, until it happens to become structural enough to fold into our battle, which it is not yet. It is, but as you can see, it has gone quite up a bit. We're looking at kind of softish peaks. Cheery shall return to the mixer. Yes, yes indeed. Go, little mixer, go. Mixer of doom. There we go. Right, back here. See, Brooke Armstrong says, would those be chunks of gnomish flesh in typical Orcish waffling? Well, that would be if I was making it for Caro the Cleric, who's kind of undead right now. Like I said, watch the series. You will totally get it. All right, back to whipping. Whip, 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 whip. All right, where are we at? That's almost there. Almost there. Okay. All right. Oh yeah. Perfection. Ah. There we go. That in sink, because we don't need it anymore, and put this away. You have done your job well, Mixer of Doom. Return to slumber within thine hold, or something. Okay, so we got our egg whites, we've got our batter. Give that a stir. And now we just need to fold this stuff gently as you possibly can, considering that it's full of meat. Yes. In and fold. Gently fold, like so. There we go. Let's see. Thank you for the kind words, Brooke. It's good to see you, and hopefully I'll get to see you again soon. I'm kind of hoping I can go visit New York next year. Maybe come back onto Audio Dungeon. Or is it the Celestial War now? Yeah, for those who are wondering, on Facebook right now I'm talking to Brooke Armstrong. She is one of the characters and actresses on Audio Dungeon, which is another D&D series. It's a podcast, but it's filmed live from Staten Island. She is a fantastic person. They are wonderful folks. Highly recommend watching them. Honestly, some of the nicest people I've ever met. So I'm already looking forward to going back on their show at some point. I recommend following them. They have the entire first campaign already up on YouTube, as well as videos from their Facebook Live sessions. But what I really love about the show is how interactive it is, where if you donate bits, you can make one of the characters, who happens to be the player character, the audience's character, who's a really, really dumb half-orc barbarian who decided after getting a magical hat, he's a wizard now. So, highly recommend. Got my giant thing of waffle batter, so I'm just gonna put that to the side. And in the meantime, let's see, what time are we? Oh wow, it's only been an hour. Okay. That was not a smart thing to do. Okay, so now I'm just going to move this pan and replace it with my waffle maker and start preheating that stuff. So, just going to put that over medium heat for now. For you would be using your waffle iron's directions. I just happen to have that old school one that actually tells you on this fun little dial when it is hot enough to add batter. So, we're going to be working with that. And goodness, do I have time to make the dough for those English muffins in the meantime while I wait? Derp-a-derp-a-der. A derp-a-derp-a-der. A derp-a-derp-a-der. Yeah, my brain is just kind of go, boop, gone. We might. After I get those waffles done, we'll see. Especially if I have all you folks on here. I mean, I'm more than willing to hang out, do some chatting. We are still too cold to put any kind of batter in there. Delicious pine nuts. And drink. Here we are. And I'm just gonna mute the mic for a second because I really need to blow my nose and you don't want to hear that. So, one moment. Are back. See how we're doing on that waffle iron. All right, we're hot enough to cook. So, what we are going to do here, you're gonna need some cooking spray. And good, my microphone's on. Open it up. Spray it down. All of it down. There we go. Still hot enough. Yes, we are. Gonna take a ladle and our batter. We're just gonna put this in the center, spread it out some. Gonna let that cook for about 30 seconds. I think we're now at 20-second mark. Turn my heat down a little bit because it's kind of getting towards the hotter end of things. right, so about 10 seconds from now, then I'm going to close this. 4, 3, 2, 1, and close. And normally I'd be getting some steam from there. Probably didn't put enough batter in there, because normally you would be getting some steam, and once it stops steaming, then you're going to give it about, I don't know, about 30 more seconds, it said. Where'd we go? Where did we go? Wrong one. Yeah. It's like our iron's still a bit too hot. So, tell you what, since I'm not getting any steam right now, I'm going to be setting a timer for about, roughly about 4 minutes to see where we are from there. Check for doneness around that point, or just a little bit before, but I still can hear the steam. So even though I can't see it, I can still hear it. And a lot of cooking, especially with something as futzy as waffles, is by sight and sound. So we are working off of sound right now, since we're not getting much on sight. I'm just going to go ahead and give this a flip, though. There we go. See if we can cook a little bit on that side. Like I said, it's really going to depend on your waffle maker. So, yeah. All right, giant thing of batter. While I am waiting, I can take a drink. I think I might actually... Oh, there's that steam. There's that pretty steam we're looking at. It's just barely out of there, but you can totally see it. So, yeah, the idea is once it stops steaming, you let it cook for another 30 seconds, and then you open to check for doneness. If it is kind of evenly brown on each side, then it's okay to go ahead and transfer it to a plate, which reminds me, we need a plate. So, gonna get me a plate. And, I mean, just as a note, it's very likely that you're going to not get the best looking one to begin with. I mean, that's why you really kind of need to feel it out a little bit. It's one of those things, like once you start getting confidence in doing it, it's going to be a lot easier once you're used to using your waffle iron. And also, it looks like I'm having to raise my heat up a little bit because it is still a little bit cool. So, right. It smells amazing though. I'm definitely getting that rosemary scent coming from the waffle maker right now. You know, since I have all this maple syrup, I'm tempted to make a cocktail from it, but I'm not oh, I know what I can make with it. Do I have any gin? Nope. The gin is gone. We are out of gin. I have vermouth. Oh, we did not hit up the liquor store recently, did we? We did not. Oh, well. What am I doing? I need to keep these pine nuts for pictures. Right. Pine nuts are going back into the bag. And they will be used in the photo of this waffle recipe, which I'm probably going to get around to photographing tomorrow or tonight, depending on how fast this goes, really. All right, we are looking. Oh, steam had stopped, so that means we've got about 30 seconds. Let's go with 25 because I'm not sure how long ago it stopped. So 25 seconds, and then we're checking it. Some fun music playing right now. Okay. And then, moment of truth in about 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is looking rather lovely, actually. But, oof, not quite done. I'm just gonna let that cook just a wee bit longer. Let's go with another 20 seconds. And I'm also gonna grab a thinner spatula, one of these guys right here, to kind of pry it off the iron a little bit, because I don't think I got that area of the waffle iron as well as I like to have gotten with my, what's it called? Cooking spray, yes. All right, let's give that a flip. Let's see if we can get that to fall down. Fall down, dang it. Come on. Yeah. Come on, don't be so futzy with me. Right. Oh, actually. Yep. We're gonna go for another minute. There we go. And hopefully that'll brown enough to have it pop right out, but we'll see. Like I said, it can be a bit fussy. So we shall see, and hope I don't burn it. Yeah, that would be bad. Ooh, ba ba ba, ba ba ba. Oh, anyone doing anything fun this weekend? I'm going to be checking out JordanCon here in Atlanta. I've never been. I admit I originally bought my ticket because Tom Casaza from Audio Dungeon, apparently he's usually a guest. Not this year because, well, the plague. But it's going to be my first convention since the plague. Don't worry, all precautions. Everyone's wearing masks, and actually you have to provide proof of vaccination to have a badge. So it's kind of a good one to sort of start out with to get back into that rhythm. All right, let's see. Pray to the waffle gods that this did not burn. Come on. Waffle gods, will you hear me? Waffle god, hear me. All right. Come on. Waffle god, why hast thou forsaken me? Come on. Get off of there, dang it. I know I sprayed you. Why are you being so futzy and problematic? Get off. You know how I said that you're bound to mess up your first one? Well, case in freaking point. All right, let's find me some tongs. All right, it's gonna be some waffle bites in this particular. There we go. Waffle god. Whew. Wow, you did get stuck on there real good, didn't you? Come on. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Come on, waffle god. Come on. Pop off, dang it. Ha. Yes. All right, we're gonna have to spray that a little extra well. Are you cooked through? You are actually cooked through. Why are you complaining? Come on. All right. Let's just turn off the stove for a moment so I don't burn myself any further. Come on. Don't. Right. New plan. We're just going to be moving this over here to a... Oh, good. I've got a cooling rack already over here. Let's try to scrape that off of there. From there. Ah. I have too much stuff on my kitchen counter right now. Alrighty. Ah. Didn't click out. No, I just clicked out. Okay. Something a little smaller, perhaps a butter knife. How the heck did you get stuck? Come on. The waffle god has not been kind to me this day. Well, it was with about half the waffle. All right. There we go. Just gonna have to get that off of there as much as I possibly can. My little waffly bits. There we go. I know, that looks so attractive. Hey, at least I got this side. There we go. All right. Round 2. We're gonna try this again. With maybe a little less stickage this time. That's the hope anyway. As my cat comes in to look for leftovers. All right. There we go. Just get that off the stovetop into the trash. All right, let's do this again. All right. Just gonna light that on fire again, even though it is actually at the right temperature right now. So if I wanted to, spray the hell out of it, which that's what I'm doing. All right. Try number 2. Let's see. About 20 seconds. Just gonna take the okay, and then close and flip. And pray to the waffle god that we shall be fortunate. Though I'm going to be putting the fan on because it's starting to heat up just a wee bit in here. Just going to set a timer for 3 minutes right now to keep an eye out. And I'm going to try some of the not so pretty bits. So as you can see, we got some pretty bits. We got some not so pretty bits. But the real question is, do they taste good? So, just gonna grab me a dish for some maple syrup. Okay. See how the flavor came out. Came out good. Oh man. I totally get that rosemary. That was the sound of a oh, that is kind of on the edge of hot, and we've got our steam. Okay. That's really good. So, considering about 3/4 of our first waffle was a bit of a wash, the flavor is still pretty fantastic. So this is a snack-rifice. My snack-rifice. Some tasty waffles. Okay. Let's see. That's a bit too hot. Steam stopped, so I'm just gonna check for doneness when we get to the half-minute mark right there. Oh, no, there's some steam, so it's still going. Okay. Okay. So more maple syrup and ham. Get back in there, dang it. The thing is, the idea I had with this is essentially it would be Orcish travel bread, where it's something that they cook over the campfire. It stays, for the most part, pretty sturdy in your pack. And if you needed to reconstitute it to eat it on the trail, just pour some maple syrup over it. I mean, orcs might carry a bottle of maple syrup with them, or just find the nearest maple tree, tap. Okay. I think that's still steaming. Just gonna give that a flip again. Still got some steam. So, gonna let it do its thing as it cooks. I'm just gonna switch back to the waffle maker so you can watch that instead of watching me eat waffles. Because it's not that kind of channel. Let's just make sure the heat is not too hot. Well, that's looking pretty good. Drink. Also, this is kind of my dinner right now, so it's also why you're watching me eat. Okay. But that also means that I can do a wee bit of cleanup as I wait. Away the spice arsenal. Where is that arrowroot? Did I leave it out here? Yes, I did. Okay. Eggs can go away. I'm really tempted to check this. That looks great on that side. But is it done on the other side? Nope. No, it is not. All right. Lesson learned from the first one. Trust your own damn advice. Okay. Right, I was eating waffles while waiting for waffles to cook. I'm kind of tempted to bring this to my, to Little Red Dot's housewarming party Saturday. But it really depends on how much waffles I get from this recipe. I mean, if I was using a standard waffle iron, that'd be one thing, but quite honestly, the Belgian waffle iron just looked a lot cooler. Alright, we still have steam. We still have steam, so it's still cooking. Admittedly, this is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. So it's like, okay, put waffle batter in iron, wait. And wait. and continue to wait. Like you do. Oh yeah, thanks Pixelated Vika. That is Belgian waffle iron that came with my house because this house used to belong to my husband's late grandparents, passed on to my mother-in-law, and passed on to us. So yeah, that's how I'm able to afford to live in the Atlanta suburbs right outside of Atlanta. Otherwise, that would not happen. Not with my salary, no. I got lucky. I got stupidly lucky. That's just the fact of things. But yeah, it's a fun little iron, and it still has steam coming out of it. It's taking so long. I should have just done the regular waffle iron. Oh well. Oh well. Let's see, what do I have that I can make a cocktail out of, though, while I'm waiting? Because I've got lots of maple syrup, which seems kind of a go-to for cocktails. I'm just not really sure what to do with it because I think my husband had most of the liquor that was in our thing. Let's see if I have anything in the other bar. Do I have gin? Yes, I am very curious to see what maple syrup tastes like. But it looks like we are sadly out of gin. I do have scotch, but it's nice scotch that you shouldn't sit with things with. Especially when it's like $80 a bottle scotch. I've got amaretto, but that seems a little over the top. However, yeah, because amaretto's already pretty sweet as it is. If I add amaretto to maple syrup, it's just sugar bomb. I do have some anisette though. That might do it. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, I smell a waffle burning. Great. Please don't burn. Ah. This is what happens when you get distracted. We will get this. We will get this at some point, I promise. Okay. Oh. Well, at least this side looks beautiful. That side looks beautiful, which is great because that's gonna make for some pretty awesome photos. All right. Third time's the charm, right? Okay. Let's do this. Third waffle. Try not to burn it. It's probably gonna have all of the stuff in it too. Not that I'm complaining. We'll probably just get one or two waffle bites out of what's left of that. Where's my spatula? Spatula. Actually, no, I think I might actually need what's left of that batter in there. Yeah. That's gonna overflow on me, I just know. Okay. So, this is also why I mentioned the cooking for 30 seconds, is so you can kind of get the shape of the waffle in the right spot, so it's less likely to overflow on you. And now, I'm just gonna close that up, flip it, and I'm gonna set a timer for about 3 minutes to keep an eye on it to make sure that I don't let it burn this time. But in the meantime, I mean, yeah, that doesn't look great, but this looks beautiful. So, just gonna break that up. And that is gonna be part of our display. I mean, this is not actually how I'm gonna be displaying it totally, but I have some stuff to work with, obviously. So, just stacking up my squares, stacking up these bits, taking these undercooked bits, under and overcooked bits, just nosh on that. Still waiting for some steam on this guy, but it'll work out. Just got a bite of ham with that. That's really good. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting another waffle out of that. I might get a waffle square out of what's left of that, but not a full waffle. All right. No. Anisette. Yes. That's why I got a glass out. Let's see here. Got some anisette. Got a cup. Got some ice. I should grab my cocktail shaker. And by cocktail shaker, I mean plastic cup. Because I don't feel like cleaning out cocktail shaker. All right. How are we doing? Got some steam. Okay, good. I'm just gonna switch real quick to my mess of a cooking space right now. Just gonna add a splash of amaretto. Bigger splash of anisette. Some maple syrup. And some peach tea with lemon. Still steaming some. Yeah. 2, 3. Actually, we'll put that back there. Okay. So. And do have a strainer. Oh. Cheers. That is excellent. All right. Alrighty. That looks done. So, switch back to our cam and hope that I did it right this time. Okay, that side seems to be okay. Check the other side. Is not quite golden yet, so we're just gonna put that right back on the heat, and I'm gonna check it in another, let's go with 1.5 minutes just to be safe, and also because I am a bit paranoid. So, we shall make this work. I believe in me, kind of. All right. Sumac can go home. Still have a wee bit of steam coming off of that. Just have a separate bowl for my waffle bits. Or I might just end up eating all of them on camera right here. Got some steam. Here is hoping. Create a little platform of waffles. Put the new guy on. Whew. Ah, the anticipation. The drama. The anxiety. Ah. Cook, waffle, cook. Give that. Flip it a check. Nope. Check another 2 minutes. We are almost there. Almost. Almost. More waffly bits. Waffly bits with syrup. That sounds like one of those 90s toy commercials, right? Waffly bits, oh waffly bits with syrup, da, 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 or something. Noms. All right. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Lots of steam. Lots of steam. That's not doing anything. Why am I talking like this? If I haven't scared all of y'all off by now, thank you. Thank you for sticking around. Alrighty. Let's check again, because I am paranoid. Nope. I mean, at least it's not sticking this time. I can say that. Oh man, it's hard to wait. To figure out which ones are the most photogenic. I'm hoping it's going to be this guy, because that's the nice thing about taking food photos. You can totally mess up the majority of appearance or something. And I'm sure that Victoria, Pixelated Vic, can tell you that too. That as long as one of those things, at least one of those things, enough of those things that happens to fit within your camera shot looks good, you're golden. Speaking of golden, how golden are we? I think if I go any further than that, it's actually going to burn. So, we're just gonna go for about 30 more seconds, but then lower the heat some, because right now it's a very hot iron. Just gonna put the heat on low, just to kind of get that even browning. Hope it works, hope it works, hope it works. Paranoia. We're almost there. Enough time for me to take a couple more sips of apparently both drinks that I have. And check it again. You know, I'll take it. Mostly, let's see if I can. Yeah. Let's do this. Create a platform of waffle. Isn't that lovely? Okay. And because I still have some batter left, I'm just going to see if I can get a bit of a waffle bit. Just put in what's left of my batter, but spray that shit first. There we go. All sprayed down, all looking lovely. I'll be cleaning off cooking spray off my stove for days. All right. All right. We shall make this work. We have come to this land and we shall call it this waffle. Well, I think we should call it your grave. You know, that wouldn't actually surprise me. Killed death by waffle. That's gonna end up looking like a snowflake. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what we get. I'm very curious. Alright. But yes, in the world of fandom food, the world of food blogging and food, like recipe creation and all that, as long as at least one of the things you cooked looks good to get a photo, or it looks good enough to kind of garnish well, and then kind of go back like, okay, how did I mess up? And then correct your recipe from there. You're good. So we are going to be doing that as well. If I end up with the burnt snowflake out of this, that's, well, it'll be interesting, I'll say that. Alright, waffly bits, waffly bits, waffly bits with syrup. Okay. It's like I feel like I'm working with some kind of craft material here. Alright, waffles. And I think for the photo, I might actually take one of these and like take a bite out of it so the pine nuts and ham and rosemary is all showing. Because right now, there's no way of telling. None whatsoever. Unless, let's take one of the not so nice looking pieces. And that looks kind of cool. I kind of like that piece. Let's see, not so nice looking piece. Oh, we'll do this one. No, doesn't really show it. Oh well. We'll just top the whole mess with pine nuts and ham. I have a whole other ham steak, so that should work out pretty nicely, I think. All right, we've got steam. Whew. And drinks. Drink, 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 drink. Whew. But yeah, this weekend I'm going to be going to Gen Con. Jordan Con, which is Atlanta's local Wheel of Time convention. Which, admittedly, I've only started reading the first book. It's a little hard for me to run through, but it's kind of become sort of a smaller, generic fantasy convention here in town. We've got a couple of friends going, so should be a fun time. Everyone has to wear masks. Apparently, you have to provide proof of vaccination to even get your badge, which we all did ahead of time because of things like, HIPAA compliance and all that. Then I'm going to Little Red Dot housewarming party. And if you don't know Little Red Dot and you're here on Twitch, you should know Little Red Dot. She is excellent. She runs a channel mostly tabletop role-playing games, but she is an amazing DM, an incredible actress, and just an all-around excellent person. So I highly recommend that you follow Little Red Dot and keep an eye on her stream because she's got some excellent stuff. And okay, let's see how badly I burnt this waffle. We shall see in just a moment. I don't know, there's still steam coming out of it. That actually looks kind of cool. but it is totally undercooked. All right, lesson learned. Let's put that back and cook it until the steam comes off. Noted. Of course, every waffle iron will be different. Mine, apparently, cook until the steam stops, flip over, cook until the steam stops, wait 30 seconds, pop out. So, it's really going to depend on how you do it, or what kind of iron you have. Waffle irons are temperamental that way, it seems. But yeah, beyond that, I turned 35 on Tuesday, which is weird. I mean, this year kind of went by really quickly enough as it is, especially last year. But now that I'm only about 5 years till 40, it's a little crazy. It's kind of hitting me a little bit. Yeah. All right, let's see how that waffle's doing. I'm not seeing any steam. We are not there yet. Ooh, paranoia. Paranoia. But beyond that, other stuff I have coming up. So, this upcoming Monday, I might stream it, I might not. I'm going to be cooking up some black stout pies and do kind of a smoked paprika ale to go along with current Kickstarter Fat Magic, which is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign setting where food is magic. I just talked to them. I'm going to be posting that up, and they've got about 16 days left on their Kickstarter. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, they just got funded today, but there's a lot of fun stretch goals. So if that's something you want, go ahead, go to Fat Magic, Google Fat Magic D&D. If you put Fat Magic in Google and just leave it at that, it can bring up some other things. But yes, I'll be making that probably on Monday and then posting the recipe up on the blog on Thursday. Next week, I'm probably going to be either doing some apple and almond tarts. Yeah, that's good. From, what was it? I think it was Volo's Guide to the Dale Lands, that's right. Which is another Dungeons & Dragons source book from 2nd edition. Ed Greenwood from Forgotten Realms campaign setting. I mean, he's one of the main writers behind the Forgotten Realms campaign setting. It's a fun little waffle snowflake. All right, that is the last of our waffles. Beyond that, week after, I'm either going to be making some honey braised boar ribs. I'm going to be making some honey braised boar ribs because I can't remember the other thing that my Patreon subscribers happen to vote for. So I'll have that. I also have a My Time at Portia recipe coming out this upcoming week for chicken coconut risotto. And God, what else do I have coming up? I have things coming up. Oh yes, come back for the first Wednesday of August, because I'll be having Viking Alchemist Meadery on again, and we're going to be making another recipe based off of one of their meads. It's delicious. I already made some mead poached apples with a mead syrup inside of it. So if you want to check that out, go to thegluttonousgeek.com, my website, and there is the recipe for that, as well as a promo code for 15% off your purchase at Viking Alchemist website. But yeah. Wow, that waffle is actually kind of underdone on the bottom. I just realized that I did not flip it right. Not to worry, we still have these glorious pieces to take photos of. And I guess I can incorporate that too. That looks kind of cool, so we'll work with that. Yes, anyway, I would like to thank you for joining me for the Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis. This was a fun show. It was nice to do a Journey Quest recipe on this stream here. And if you have a chance, do check out their web series. The entire series right now is on YouTube, so you can watch the whole thing for free. It's stupidly funny and funnily stupid, but in a good way. So check it out. If you have a chance and you like this stream, subscribe. I welcome all people who like fandom food. And check out my website, thegluttonousgeek.com, where you can see other recipes that I've done for tabletop role-playing games, as well as a little bit of everything in geekdom. So I hope to see you next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. My name is Catherine Barsonistas. You've been watching The Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis. Have a great night, and stay safe, stay sane, stay you. Check.